Long time ago, I was having a discussion with a friend of mine who goes by the nickname Hoser, and he is a pretty much grandmaster all around shooter in every area that I think I've ever found, including precision rifle. And I asked him, Hoser, why do you not see 270 caliber in precision rifles? And he said it's easy. There's one specific answer for it. They don't make bullets. And I said, okay, well, why don't they make bullets? And he said, they just can't get them heavy enough to fly right. I was like, okay. Well, I already had a 270 at the time. It was this one, which this one's had work on it. It's got a cheek piece and a different trigger and a different bolt handle. And not the greatest optic in the world, but it's a Citron S3 and it definitely gets the job done. So 26-inch bull barrel. It's a Remington Sendero, right? Decent setup. Not a whole lot of money into it to get into a really good, accurate gun. It's heavy. You don't want to carry it all day, but it'll definitely shoot. The problem is, if you want something that's going to give you really, really good ballistics and is going to fly really far, you can't do it with this gun. Even though this gun is set up for it, you can't do it. And here's why. It has a 1 in 10 twist. The 270 Winchester cartridge was designed in the early 1900s, 1923 to 1925. And so it makes it a 100-year-old cartridge. And back then they were playing we're going from black powder to smokeless powder game. And it was all about speed. So they were loading 270 Winchester with what we still load it with, 130 grain, 140 grain, 120 grain bullets, okay? Copper jacket going like its ass is on fire, okay? These are 3,000 feet per second hunting loads, which is crazy, but it's a 26-inch barrel, so it definitely hauls the mail. The 1 in 10 barrel twist is wrong, and I'll tell you why. I was reading a Brian Lentz post today on Facebook about the linear dimensions of bullets. And when you start looking at scaling up and scaling down, there's a specific formula for that, and it's right there. And so I scaled up from the 142 6.5 Creedmoor bullet, which is pretty common in the match grade stuff, to 277, which is not on this list, ironically. And it is a 164 grain bullet, okay? I'll spare you the math. It's a 164 grain bullet. I don't know if anybody makes a 164 grain bullet. As a matter of fact, Sierra Match Kings, which are notorious for being some of the better bullets out there for long distance, the only one they make in 270 is a 135. 135. Because they know every single manufacturer in the United States is making a 270 Winchester with the 1 in 10 twist barrel. It's a fail. This fail was caught, and it's been known for a very long time, but nobody seems to want to fix it. Because ammunition manufacturers are fixed and set in making the ammunition for the older barrels. They've been around for 100 years. They're all over the place. And they know if they start making good ammo and good bullets, people will try them and find out that their barrels won't shoot them and they'll be pissed. 6.8 Western was the cure for that. And don't get me wrong, I'll shoot that crap all day. That's an Osler partition at 100 yards. That's 3 shots instead of 5. I typically drop 5. But I'll take that group, 3 shots all day. Okay? This is a 150 grain bullet. This is a 150 grain partition. Okay? That's a 150 grain partition. And that's about as good as I ever got with, that's a boat tail saw point. That's about as good as I ever got with a 150 right there. Done. Meanwhile, I can take a 130 grain and I can do this rapid fire off of a really solid shooting position, and I'm shooting 1.1, right? It's not a horrible cartridge. It's not an inaccurate cartridge. It was improperly designed because of the early technology of the early 1900s and compared to what we're doing now. 6.8 Western is the fix for that. They use 1 in 8 and 1 in 7.5 twist barrels. And this gun, if it was a 6.8 Western, exactly set up the same, right action, because I think the 6.8 Western is a short instead of a long, and I was shooting 164 grain match bullet out of it, would be bomber. Doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. This bullet right here with 150 to 165 grain hunting load in it would be bomber. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist because the gun's been around for too long and nobody wants to change it. Someday I'm going to burn this barrel out. It's my goal in life, is to rebarrel this gun. I might actually put a 270 Winchester with a 1 8 twist in this when I change it. I may have to have it custom made, but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it because somebody's going to build a bullet for those 6.8 Westerns that's going to be worth a shit. And I'm going to load it in a 270 Winchester and it's going to fly like a boss. Right? But it just, these are the decisions that are made over the long run that kill most guns. 270 Winchester's been around for so long that it's never going to go away. Okay? This stuff is here forever. I've reloaded it forever. This ammunition's going to be made forever. It's never going away. But we probably will never actually see its full capability simply because of the decisions that were made 100 years ago. And this is the proof right here that those decisions were made on a misunderstanding of ballistics. And it's sad. It's sad.